Hi guys, it's Melissa with Knitting a Tale Crafts. I recently went to the 2025 Bay Area Yarn Crawl and I thought I would show you my Bay Crawl haul. So, Bay Crawl started on March 14th and it ran for about 10 days. It was done on I believe it was the 23rd or 24th of March. I went from the 15th through the 21st because I had commitments the 14th and the 22nd. So, let me go over how I did, and I'll go ahead and show you what it is that I purchased. So I started up at 7 o'clock in the morning from LA County to get up to the Bay Area. So my first day, because of just the huge range of stores, I went to everything that was going to be on my way to my mom's house in Half Moon Bay. So the first location that I stopped at, and I got there probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, was in Morgan Hill, and that was a pop of color. So I got these yarns, Barocca Ultra Alpaca. It's 50% alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool, because I thought that I would make a cowl out of this with colorwork stranding, because I have a pattern, Fair Isle pattern that looks like a Scottish thistle. And so I thought, since the thistles are purple, that I would use the green and the purple to make the cowl. What was fun at a pop of color in Morgan Hill is that they had a little wheel that you could spin and win a prize. And so I ended up getting knitting row counter end beads, so that when you're counting your rows, you just follow the little beads. So I thought that was cute. So that was the first stop of the 22 stores that I visited. Second one that I went to was in San Jose, and that was Fillory. And one of the trunk shows that they were doing there was Serendipity. And so I ended up getting some fingering weight yarn. This one, the color is called First Bud, which I think is appropriate, being with the pink and the green and the cream color. It's very pretty. It's a 75-25 blend of merino and nylon, 450 yards. So probably maybe a knit scarf, or I don't know, a cute pair of socks with like maybe a flower lace pattern in them or something. But I thought that was very pretty. That was my second stop. I would like to say, however, that I made a whole video last night that was quite long, showing all of this along with video footage of the stores that I went to. And when I tried to save the video I made, it said I didn't have enough space. So I went to go erase some stuff to make space on my phone for the video, and ended up erasing the videos that I needed for my video. So this is my second round. Yay. So this again, second stop, Fillory in San Jose. The next one that I went to was a store I've been to before, which is Uncommon Threads in Los Altos. Last year when they had the first yarn crawl, I stumbled across it. I didn't know what was going on. I was at my mom's house. We went into Fengari in Half Moon Bay, and they asked if we were participating in the yarn crawl, and it was like, well, I guess I am now. So we went there, went to the Royal Bee in Pacifica, and then the next day when I was going to be flying back down to LA, we went to Los Altos because it was on the way to the airport in San Jose. So I was there last year. They are a Rowan brand affiliate, so they have all of the Rowan yarns, and they had a lot of other things. The only thing that I got there was a little bit of Eucalyptus, the wool wash, and I got it in the jasmine scent. Since I have some stuff that I'll be making soon, I figured I would need some wool wash. Next up was Nordic Nest, and that was in San Carlos. And this one didn't start out as a yarn store. It actually started out as like a kind of home goods store, a lot of little, decorative things, candies, stuff like that. They started carrying yarn and then slowly expanded into more of a yarn shop. So this is the first year that they participated in the crawl. And what I got there was the Stitcherly Knits Wildflower. The colors are very pretty. So I thought it would be fun to make a cowl or a hat or something. This one's a DK. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't usually use DK too much, but it's pretty, and I'll figure something out with it. Again, maybe a stranded colorwork hat to incorporate kind of the flower colors. I apologize any background noise. My cats are moving around in the room, so apologies on that. Last store on my first day, I got there about 4:30, was Fengari's, which is in Half Moon Bay, which is where my mom lives. And this was the only store that I for sure knew that I was going to be buying something from, because it is my Bay Area local yarn shop when I go to visit my mom. So I had been there a couple of weeks ago, and the shop owners gave me a preview of the yarn that they were doing for the trunk show for Peninsula Yarns, which they have absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous yarns. And what they do is they'll dye specifically for the yarn crawl. This one was based off of a picture taken at the tide pools in Half Moon Bay. And the colorway on it is Sea Star. And it's a glitter-based fingering yarn. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a superwash merino, nylon, and then it has the gold stellina. I'm going to bring it close so you can see how sparkly that is. This yarn is absolutely beautiful. I got a few of those. I also got a shawl kit of yarn. This one is based off of a shawl pattern that's called Birdsong Shawl. I didn't get the shawl itself because I figured maybe I'd use it for something else. But again, it's glitter based. It is just absolutely gorgeous shades of gold. And then a glitter base of fingering in the Sea Star minis. And again, these are just absolutely gorgeous yarns, and I can't wait to use them. That finished up that day. I got to my mom's. My Aunt Sherry was visiting from Washington over the course of the same week, so I was able to visit with her. I went the next day only to one location, and that was the Royal Bee in Pacifica. And the Royal Bee does have their own yarn brand that they dye. So I did buy one skein of their fingering weight, and this is a 80-20 blend of merino and recycled nylon. This particular color is called Cardinal Flower. Very, very beautiful red color in this yarn. I also picked up from a Napa Valley dyer, Sincere Sheep, a little cake with a ombre colorway. So I figure I could probably do like a scarf or a small shawl with this. It's gorgeous yarn. And then I also got 2 yarns of this Silver Pennies fingering weight. And the color is Rockaway. Like, I probably like Rockaway Beach. And the blues reminded me so much of the ocean, so I thought I would do a big scarf or shawl with a kind of a wave pattern on it to match kind of that ocean motif. So that was the only store that I went to on Sunday. Part of it was I didn't realize that the shops had extended hours for the crawl. And some of the locations I was planning on going to in San Francisco and up in San Rafael had usually closed on Mondays, and so, or Sundays rather. So I thought, okay, I'll just save all of those for Monday and I'll just do this one. It was kind of nice. I didn't have to spend the whole day driving around, so it was really nice being able to just have the one shop. So Monday, I did go to San Rafael, and I did go to all of the San Francisco locations. First up, I went to Dharma Trading Company. They do have a really big yarn supply there that they don't actually list on their website. So if you're in the area, it's definitely behooves you to go in to see the yarn that they do have. But what Dharma is known for are their acid dyes. So I got 2 acid dyes for some cotton yarn and the mordant that I need to make make the yarn color fast, and that is some potash. So at some point in the future, I will be doing a video on some cotton dyeing. Across the street, basically like across the street and then about up one building, is the next location, and that was Atelier Marin. Atelier does have 2 locations. One is in Marin, one is in San Francisco. The San Francisco location, I believe, is the original one. It's been around about 35 years. They had the secondary store. Both are under the same owner. While I was at the Marin store, I picked up a Juniper Moon Farm Stargazer, and this is baby llama and silk. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but it is soft and absolutely beautiful. And I will admit, When I saw this, I was like, ooh, I know someone who'd love to rub their face on it. So I got it, mostly for that. I'll figure out what to do with it, but it's pretty yarn. I also got some Knitted Wit worsted weight yarn. With the Knitted Wit, I kind of have an affinity for it because, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, in 7th grade, I misspelled Nitwit in a spelling bee and lost. So when I saw the Knitted Wit, I knew I had to get it. I haven't seen it down here in LA, but I also haven't been to all of the LA shops. So I'm not sure if someone down here does carry it, but it's good to know where I can find it in the Bay Area. So I got 2 skeins of the Knitted Wit in their worsted weight. And this particular colorway is called Quilted, which I found appropriate because I also quilt. So it was a perfect yarn for me to pick up. After I went to, oh wait, I'm sorry, that was all Marin. And then after that, I went to Atelier in San Francisco. While I was there, I got the Araucania Huasco Coton yarn, and it is absolutely gorgeous colors with all sorts of sparkle. So I don't know if I'm planning on doing socks because it's fingering weight or some type of a scarf. But the colorway is just absolutely pretty. And again, I love blue and pink yarns, so this one was absolutely calling to me to get. So Atelier in San Francisco is the only area where I had any trouble parking. It took me like 45 minutes to find a spot. I ended up like about a block up and about 3 blocks over from where the store was before I could find any parking spots. All the rest of the stores in San Francisco, I was able to get pretty much like right across the street or right next to the building. Second up that I went to was Firebird Yarns. They have a great selection of yarns, a lot of indie dyers. They do their own yarn dyeing as well. I don't know if their yarn is listed on their website. I think you just have to go in and take a look. They did have a, I think, Dayglow company that was doing a show there. I didn't get any of the yarn, but what I did get was a little $8 pack that came with a single skein, a mini skein of yarn. So there's like 92 yards of this little mini skein. It is blacklight reactive, so it will glow in the dark. But it also came with a secondary slip of paper. And on that paper was a prize that you could win along with the $8. So sometimes it's like $5 off your next purchase, and sometimes it's for other stuff. I got other stuff. The Fade Frenzy mini skein set right here. I love the colorway. I think it's going to be really fun to do some type of a gradient shawl. And this is roughly 770 yards of yarn. So that one's going to be a fun one to work with. So it's almost $60. It's listed at $59. So I got like $60 worth of yarn for $8 essentially. Next that I went to was Imagine It in San Francisco. And they are a pretty fun store. I actually really liked the location and the items that they had in there because they had a lot of fun little kitschy items and sort of like home goods and puzzles and like all sorts of different things. But they also had from Madeline Tosh a yarn crawl color that's specifically for this yarn crawl, and it was called Flowers in Your Hair, which is appropriate because it's a San Francisco store. So, you know, like if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. So I thought for this, it's a fingering weight, maybe a hat because it's flowers in your hair, so hat in your hair. Very cute, very soft, very pretty colors. Last one was Love Fiber Fest in, Love Fiber Craft in San Francisco. They have a lot of very unique yarn. It's one of the few places that you can get a pashmina yarn. They work with a lot of yarn producers in other countries to help with sustainable practices, creating jobs, that sort of thing. I didn't get any yarn there, but I did get Clover number 4 24-inch circular needle. Even though they did have gorgeous yarns, the was a little more expensive than I wanted to spend on a single skein. So I didn't get anything there other than the needle. So that concluded Monday. Tuesday, I went into the farther reaches of the Bay Area, Martinez, Lafayette, and Livermore. So I started out at Busy Work in Martinez. And this was a store I absolutely loved. It's in a cute downtown area. There's lots of food places and shops that are right in the same parking area. It has craft sections for kids. It even had like a little art room in the back where they had people who'd made stuff from yarn and then were selling it. So they had all sorts of tops and socks and all sorts of stuff in there. I ended up getting Fiction Fiber Colorway Collection Girl Detectives, and the colorway is Big Hunch. The reason I got that really was because I was a creative writing major and I couldn't resist anything related to writing. But I also got a 1953 pattern book of patterns for use with nylon yarn. So they have like women's sweaters, men's sweaters, kids stuff, stole socks, bed jackets, a baby set. They have a lot of different patterns, so I got that. And I love vintage stuff, so that was an appropriate purchase for me. After that, in Lafayette, I went to Busy Sticks, and they had a really cute shop dog, a little Australian Shepherd that was in there. And I looked around, they had some great yarn, but they had this absolutely adorable pin with these sparkly wings, and I couldn't resist because my first name means honeybee, so I got a little yarny bee. So cute. I absolutely love this. Next up, we went to Livermore, and the first shop that I went there, oh goodness, what was the name of it? It was a shop that had knitting as well as quilting. So there's a lot of fabric, as well as a lot of yarn, and they had a lot of fun stickers and things as well. So while I was there, I got a sock set, Sweet Georgia Berryessa. It says it's Tough Love Sock, and the colors are Slumber Party and Jewel. So the purple is to make the cuffs and the heels and the toes, and then the rest of it's for the body. I also got a sticker there that I couldn't resist. Mostly because I am part of what I like to call the Oregon Trail generation. And it says, "You have died from a lack of yarn." Love that sticker. Very cute. Last store up was Knit This Purl That. And this one was also in Livermore. They have a ton of shawl kits. Like the whole place is just shawl. And the kits that are put up, they have a lot of single skeins around the room. And I did get some. This is a Knitted Wit Fairy Floss, and this is a Mohair and Silk blend, and the color is Nasty Woman. And I mean, honestly, how could you resist buying it with a name like that? And gorgeous colors. Can't wait to work this up into a lace shawl, or not a shawl, a scarf. Very, very pretty. So that concluded Tuesday. I took Wednesday off because I was helping my mom with some stuff at her house, and also visiting with my aunt who was down from Washington. So it was nice to have a day off from all the driving, because that is just a ton of driving up there. So Wednesday, when I got back to it, or Thursday rather, when I got back to it, I was on my last day. And so I hit all of the areas in and around Berkeley and Alameda, and then down towards Hayward. So first shop that I went to was in Albany. And I got some, and that one was, the name is escaping me, I'm sorry. But the shop was in Albany. I got some Horseshoe Farm Shetland yarn in light gray. I believe it's just a natural color. I don't think they dyed the yarn. Very, very pretty. Use on that, probably a hat, based on the amount that's there. And then they have these little keychains set up where you could purchase the keychain, and the money would go to a local farm that works with disabled kids. And so each purchase of the little crocheted keychains, in this case I got a cute little piggy, goes to help feed the animals at that farm. So all of the money goes back to them for that purpose. And I couldn't resist because he's so stinking cute. Look at that. Next up was Black Squirrel Yarn. This one is in Berkeley. They had a really nice selection, but they do have their own yarn collection as well. And this is a Surrey silk lace. So it's Surrey alpaca and mulberry silk. So I got 3 of them to be able to make a large enough like lace shawl with a pretty lace edging on it. I'm not sure what kind of pattern I'll be looking into, but I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful, beautiful yarn. After that, I went to Oakland, and that was a verb for keeping warm. One thing that's really cool about this location is that they have plants that they grow in a garden behind the store, and all of the plants are ones that can be used for natural dyeing, so flowers, along with things like indigo. And so all of the dyes that they use are from natural items. So this particular one that I got is lambkin. It is a merino wool base, and it's set up to basically be a boucle yarn, and it looks like lamb's fur or lamb's wool. And this color is meringue. Just absolutely gorgeous. This screams like a hat, or I was even thinking of doing something like one of those old-fashioned like muffs that you put your hands in to keep warm in the winter, because I thought that that would be really, really cute in that type of a pattern. So maybe, I mean, we'll see what happens. Then I went to Imagine It East, which is a secondary location for Imagine It. One is in San Francisco, one is in Berkeley. And this was a fun location. There are a lot of restaurants and shops near it. I think it's near Berkeley, UC Berkeley. I'm not sure because I'm not familiar with that area, but it was off of University, so I'm pretty sure it's near the school. This is a linen lace yarn, and kind of works because there's a pattern in one of my books that I've had forever. The book is French Girl Knits. Pattern's called Anjou. I'll post a picture here. The pattern is a linen lace tunic based off of a 1920s style. So it's too small for me to make for myself, but I'll be able to make it for someone else, and hopefully they'll enjoy it, because it is a very, very pretty pattern. Last 2 locations in Alameda was Coven of Stitches. This store was not included in the yarn crawl last year because they were just opening. So it was sort of, I think someone said they were like unofficial yarn crawl last year, but they weren't, part of it officially until this year. So I got 2 yarns in there. Both of them were one of those things that you see and you're like, there's no way I can, not get that. And one of them was from Seismic Yarns, which is a Bay Area yarn company. This particular colorway is called Blood Moon, and it is a reference to the Zelda games. So very, very pretty with the reds and the gray and the white in there. And then the other one that I got was called Black Cat Fibers, and this is a nomad sock, merino and nylon, and the color is Brothel. Again, I mean, how could you not? Look at those colors. They're gorgeous. And the name is pretty much what made me get it. So this was a neat little shop. They had areas where you could do like little kits of like yarn markers or stitch markers, and you could kind of make your own sets and pick things out. And they had some stickers and things. So it was a really fun little location. It's very small, but they had a lot of yarn for the size of the store, and a lot of fun independent dyers. Last place that I went where I got my blackout, because I did visit all 22 locations, was Arania in Hayward. And I've been to this location before. I do have a loom, and Arania has looms and sewing machines, spinning wheels, not sewing machines, that if they don't have it in store, they can order for you. And so I bought some pieces for my loom in December of last year. This is also a store with a shop dog named, I believe it was Pepper, a very friendly, cute pooch that she adopted back in December. What I got there was a shawl pattern, or kit for Belle Epoque shawls. Has 2 different yarn colors in there to do kind of an ombre effect again for the shawl itself. So that was the last thing that I picked up while I was there. Turned in my bingo card for the blackout and finished up my trip. The next day I had to drive back home to LA. So I was really happy to be able to hit everything. I got all of the yarn, way more than I intended to. Again, my goal was pretty much, oh, I'll visit these other places, but I'm for sure buying something at Fengari. And instead I bought something in like every location. But I like to support businesses, and if this is a way to do it, then absolutely I will get it. And as I make projects, I will go ahead and show them to you. So I hope you've stuck with me this long. Have you ever been to a yarn crawl? If you have, let me know your experience in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one.